channel. You're with Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. I don't practice as a theologist anymore, but I do have years and years of experience and information I can help with people to understand things about life. Let's talk about parentification. Parentification's when a relationship breaks down between a couple or parents or a marriage, and the single parent exchanges their loneliness by inviting the child into a parentified role with all the authority and understanding and feelings and emotions that are associated with that. It's catastrophic for the parent and the child. The child, as far as studies know, has struggles with their own relationship. The parent consumes that part of the emotional makeup of the child, and the child now is in a position where they've tasted the intimate aspects of the parent. For me, I'm going to deal with the mother-son, as that's been my experience, and I prefer to speak from experience rather than just from textbook. What begins to take place with this? The mother eases the child into a more intimate part of her life, right into the utmost intimate parts of her life. This will also happen with the son, where they'll exchange their personal intimate details of the experiences that they've had with people that have come into their lives. With covert emotional incest or enmeshment or parentification or the golden child syndrome, the parent will always return to the child, and the child will always return to the mother. Now, people that get involved with these people don't realize how evil and dark and manipulative and consciously willing these people are to drag people along, fully understanding that they're going to return back to each other. They never leave each other. Emotionally, the loyalty bind never breaks between the parent and the golden adult child. As a person that's been a partner to several of these women, 3 now, and yes, I have had therapy and counseling as to why I seem to gravitate these women that are emotionally in bed with their children, because it's a phenomenon that you don't want to get caught up in, because it can waste years of your life. It's devious. It's cruel. It's worse than being with an alcoholic or a drug addict, because it's so covert. If you can't tell what's going on, you don't understand what's happening to you through the emotional starvation you experience and the distance you experience from the person that you're with. Now, these people know how to play the part of a partner. They've done that before you come along. They probably have been dropped because of this loyalty bind that they have with the adult son. So too with the adult son, if you listen to the stories of his relationships, they'll be absolutely terrifying. I guess this story of mine, or these stories, or actual life experiences of mine, are terrifying too. So you're constantly evaluating yourself as to why you've ended up in this situation, how this has happened to you, how much time you've put into it, and what it's psychologically done to you. And it can physically impact you as well. Excuse me. Because the mental impacts and psychological vandalism that takes place in your mind and in your head and in your emotions and your psyche upset the calibration between mind and body function. I've had a couple of very serious accidents because of the confusion and fog that is created by these people. They'll always leave you wondering. They'll always leave you questioning. You know they're returning back to the adult child or child to the parent. It's worse than dealing with somebody that's having an affair, because it all seems legitimate on the surface, but it's not. It's absolutely not. These people are emotionally in bed together. They are connected way beyond parent-child. They're exchanging emotions at the deepest level. The mother will call the son babe, gorgeous, doll, and all other sorts of intimate names that actually have the sense of intimacy that comes with them. They're not just names, it's deep. The child will groom the mother and manipulate the mother to feed him more and more of the adult emotion, because there's an intrigue involved with young people when they are brought into this realm, and there's a lust associated with it, and an addiction, a psychological, emotional addiction to get their adult fix, because they know very well they shouldn't be hearing what they're hearing from the mother. Intimate details of the people that she's with, sharing in the mother's choice of partner. The mother will often control the son as to what she thinks of his partner. There's no boundaries at all whatsoever between these people, in any way whatsoever. I've been with these women. I've had adult sons come barging into the room, bedroom, mind you, without any warning or regard or respect. There's no boundaries at all. And it's gotten to the point where I would not go down to one particular woman's house, because these young adult men were so far out of control and so detached from any form of manners or respect towards me, and I don't know what's happened to other people. I realized that to a large extent, the attitudes and behavior of the mother and the children literally contributed to the father being driven away. I've seen the mother and the child rebel against the father. It demasculizes any male. It tries to demasculize any male with any prowess, with any authority. It does not like masculine authority. It will not stand for it. And they shield the masculinity away from them through the covert emotional incestual bond, the loyalty bond that they have between each other. You can be the partner of the mother, and the adult son will completely, utterly reject, despise, and villainize you. And to some extent, this often happens with the mother and the child's partner as well. It's evil, it's corrupt, and it's severely damaging. The loyalty bond between the mother and the son is so strong. It's actually stronger than a wife and a husband. So when the wife and the husband have split up and divorced, or the female and the male who have been together to bring this child into the world split up, the bond between the mother and the child is stronger than the bond between the woman and the male. You have to understand how strong this loyalty bind is. It's not natural, it's not normal, but on the surface it all looks grandiose. Oh, look how much he looks after his mother. Oh, look how much she loves him. He's a wonderful boy. And these are adult men. Behind the scenes, the behaviour's infantile beyond recognition. In the case of the adult son, if he's not getting his emotional supply and attention from the mother, infantile behaviour kicks in almost immediately. It can go from a place of peace to a place of war, psychological assault and vandalism in moments. And this is what makes this bind, this loyalty bind, covert emotional incest, so dangerous and so powerful. I've been with these women, and the son, and everything's going along fine. You feel like you're a part of the unit. but then the son will have a birthday party or there'll be some kind of family function, and you just blatantly will not be invited. And so you're not in that group as much as a matter of fact, you might think you're in that group, but you're not. You're just present. You're being used as a supply of masculinity, but there's no respect for your presence or masculinity. You're just being leeched, psychologically leeched, like a person at a blood donor shop that's given blood to the Red Cross or something like this. You are not part of the emotional fabric or structure of the woman's family or the woman that you're with. You see relationships with two people, but not in this case. Your relationships with two people, the problem with it is it's not you. If you're with the mother, her emotional connection is with the son. You're just a supply of masculinity. If you're with the son, or you're a woman with the son, you're not with the son. You're just a supply of femininity for this person, and they'll psychologically rape you and use you, and you won't even know. You'll have an emptiness, a fog, a brain fog. You'll get deep inner, dark, latent headaches in the back of your mind. You'll start to lose your coordination between mind and body, which will cause accidents. I've had a severe accident with one woman, and I can remember with this woman, her 20-year-old son actually got into bed with us twice without any conscience at all, and I was more or less at that point a stranger. And this is the lengths these children will go to try and maintain their dominance over the psychological connection of the mother. Now the mother, I've noticed these mothers will not oppose these sons. They will not oppose the mentality that they've created and formed in these sons. When that young boy got into bed with us twice, the woman did not oppose it in any way whatsoever, which shows you that it's the parent enabling the child to play the role of a partner, and the extent of this goes all the way up to but having sex, in some cases to having sex, depending on what the absence of partners to these people is. And a lot of the time you'll never know, right? You'll never know to what extent exactly what's going on behind the scenes. But one thing's for sure, I can tell you, if you are the partner, these people will be backbiting you, they will be whinging about you, they will psychologically lift each other up by villainizing you, and there'll be no remorse, no regret, or no regard to the psychological assault and damage that they're doing to you. Covert emotional incest is by far one of the highest levels of dark empath assault on the mind of its victims that I'm aware of, besides a deliberate physical attack by a psychopath or something that maims people. The mental harm, damage, crippling that it can do to the mind is profound. The years that it can waste while you're in this agony, it's like somebody being strangled by a python snake, just slowly. You cannot get out of its grip because you're emotionally, you think you're building a relationship with this person, but you're not, and they know you're not. They are never going to be 100%. You'd be lucky if you get 20% commitment from this person psychologically. They'll turn up physically, but psychologically their loyalty bind is always within the covert emotional incest relationship. There is no stronger bond, demonic bond, than covert emotional incest. You have to be aware of this. Now, what are the signs? First sign is the way they address each other. The mother will give the son intimate names like darling, babe, sweetheart, these kind of connotations in names. The son will brush up against the mother, come up behind her in the, I hope you haven't done this, come up behind her in the kitchen and hold her like he's a partner. They'll dote over each other and brush up against it. The signs are pretty clear. You'll sense the emotional connection and you'll wonder and say to yourself, this just doesn't seem right. And then you'll just get the edge of enmity towards you for being near this relationship, because you're not really welcome. You're only getting used. You're only getting used as a part of a replacement for what the parent-child can't give to each other. All right, because if they were having sex with each other, you wouldn't be there at all. They wouldn't need you at all. Be it the partner of the child, adult child, or the partner of the mother. You're just an instrument for them to get what they can't give to each other. The primary relationship is the covert emotional incest relationship. It is not you with that person. You're just secondary. You're just a secondary form of supply, emotional and physical supply. This is Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, the neurologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.